as a socially anxious person, why the fuck did I choose to do this and why did I say yes?
Yeah.
And I've had shows where I've gone up there and I've nearly thrown up before getting up there of nerves. Like it's, for me, I don't think it ever goes away. But I had to really push myself to pursue this because it's so out of character for me.
We were like playing and then they played a chill song and you could literally watch everyone just go to the bar.
I remember.
And then it was like, watch this. And they just played like Fisher or something and they all just come running back and I was like, what the fuck?
Where I'm bouncing off the other person and they're bouncing off you.
And then you climb up on the decks at Wolf.
Yes, you climb up on the riser and do all the fun stuff. I don't know, it's like it felt really natural and it felt like you were a part of the party and you created a party.
Welcome to everyone watching and welcome guys. Thanks for popping into the flats. Been keen to get you guys in for a while and we dodged a bit of sickness and avoided COVID, but we finally made it. How you been?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. On the mend.
That's good. And a busy month with festivals back. There's a few big shows in Canberra, both on some of the lineups. How's that been getting back to those bigger shows?
Oh, it's actually a little bit stressful. I forgot what it felt to live like this. So, yeah.
You're used to the small sit-down rooms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not the huge crowds.
Yeah.
At, for example, Groovin the Moon, which you're playing at the end of the month.
Yep.
So you're looking forward to that?
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I've no idea what direction I want to go in as for music-wise yet. But I'm stoked.
Yeah. And how about you, Haylee? You're back in the clubs as well?
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, been really different. Like, I feel like every time we come back after a lockdown, it's like so much has changed. Like, when you come back, like, music-wise, crowd-wise and everything like that. So it's just, like, constantly having to, like, adapt to, like, each time we come back. So it's like...
really interesting for at a current point where we've come back and there's been no festivals and we actually don't have a solid know of what's trending at the moment.
Yeah. It's really weird. So then we're just like, oh, this sounds cool. Let's just chuck that in.
Kind of like read the room and see where it goes. But there's, nothing yet kind of set in stone as to like what's trending in that mainstream room.
Yeah, that's interesting. If you're not there every night, you're not gauging what's working and that sort of thing. Yeah. And so that's the challenge coming out of those sort of things, And the same with the festivals. I guess it's a different set to what you do at Fiction where you guys are both residents. So how does that play into it? Do you think? You don't know yet, I guess. Yeah.
Well, when I played my first Groovin, I had this bit of a sit down with myself and I was like, am I going to play what I normally play in the club or do I want to play what I like? And it took me a while to kind of navigate and realise the people that are going to come and watch me are the ones that usually watch me on the weekend, but I also kind of want to play a sound that I like. So it's a really hard thing to get booked as a DJ and then get booked as an artist. It's, Yeah.
Where do you think that's going to go? And not necessarily with this set, but into the future?
That's a really interesting question.
You're not sure yet?
Yeah, I kind of want to do a little bit of like...
Finding your sound still.
Yeah, what I like versus kind of what everybody else likes to kind of keep it relevant, but keep myself happy too.
And Haylee, you were sort of mentored by Brittany, I think, from a program at Wolf.
That good memories.
And
I caused a bit of trauma, but I think good trauma.
Well, you were a tough coach.
Oh, no.
I don't think tough, but I think I kind of I chucked her in the deep end pretty quickly and we just swam through it.
Yeah, because like I came in knowing like absolutely nothing and I think it was more just like this is like interesting, like to pick up like a new hobby or something like that. And then I think it was like the third lesson in, Brittany was like, no, do it again. So it was like perfect. And I was like, oh shit, she really wants me to get this. And then, then all of a sudden I feel like I like blinked and then I was like in the club for it and I was like, ah!
I think it was like 2 weeks in or 3 weeks into lessons or something really quick and we were doing like back-to-backs. But I guess that's how my experience went. So I just felt that you,
Yeah.
bring your
Yeah,
life to the
true.
right.
Because you did the same with.
If I can do it, you
Megan.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it definitely worked.
It was like kind of, we laid out like you do some lessons and then you kind of get a feel. And, you know, Kaylee had this particular type of style and personality, and she was just really chill. And I remember after meeting her the first lesson, I called the general manager of Wolf Lee and I was like, I found someone, and I'm pretty keen. So we started doing like the back-to-back, so you kind of had a safety net, and then
That was good.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I loved it.
And do you think that's kind of half the battle, is that having the right style and personality for that sort of, to teach someone like that? Because you've done it with a lot of people, I assume, back when you were doing those Wolf programs.
Yeah.
What was the key factor, do you think, in someone being a good DJ?
Oh, definitely just their attitude. Attitude, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, you can teach anyone how to DJ at the end of the day, but if they've got like a good feel about them, they're respectful, and they have that willingness and that drive and the passion, like, it's, the rest is pretty much in their hands. I think in particular with like Haylee, when I met you, I don't know, I was just like, this chick kind of slightly reminds me of me when I was her age at the time, and I was like, oh my God. And we just kind of like clicked, and you were super chill, and it kind of made me kind of find it a lot easier to work with you on a closer level, because you were just really cool to have around at the time. So
I was just happy to be there. Like, I had no idea, like, doing the lessons that I was going to be asked to play at Wolf. Like, I thought I was just going to finish the lessons.
Goal. Yeah.
No, like, I was just doing it for fun, and like, I bought like my own little like controller, like, just to practice at home, just because I was like purely just having so much fun, like mixing tunes together. And then like, Britt's like, do you want to play in the club? And I was like, the fuck? I was like, well, like, I'm not saying no, like, that's fucking sick, but and then it just turned into this whole
journey.
This whole journey.
Yeah.
2.5 years later, here we are.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And I guess you're in the same sort of trying to find your sound still as a DJ?
Yeah, like, I feel like, well, personally for me anyway, a lot of it is like being like, okay, I want to do this, I want to play like this gig or do a festival or something like that. And then like a lot of the time it's just stuff just happens and you're just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, especially like when COVID hit, like all my dreams got crushed pretty much.
I was actually like pretty disappointing how COVID worked out for Haylee. So I think you had your first Saturday at Wolf, and it was your first Saturday show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like her first solo Saturday. And like Wolf had this really cool, almost like algorithm for new DJs. So you would start off doing the back-to-backs until you're comfortable enough to be able to do a Thursday close. And then once you like mastered that, then you got moved to a Thursday open. And then after that, it was like, cool, you're a part of our residency and you go to a Saturday, and it was your first ever Saturday. Yeah. And it's just like, you played and boom, done. Like, I was like, oh, it was
I think I played one Saturday and I was filling in for someone, and then I went back to back with you for a bit. I was like, I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah. So that was a really, really crap timing for you.
Yeah. And then, I remember Lee was like, all right, you're on closes. You're like, you're doing Saturday closes, nothing else. And I was like, fucking let's go. And then, I don't remember if it was you or Lee told me about GTM as well that year. And I was like, all right, let's go. It's all happening. And then boom, poof, gone. Nothing, gone. I didn't think I was going to DJ again.
Yeah, no, it was not really good timing.
Shout out to Lee too. I think he's watching in the comments.
Lethal Lee.
We'll have to get him on too at some point.
He's got some stories.
Yeah.
But he can tell him better than me. So.
And Wolf at the time, unfortunately, has shut down, and I think it was due to COVID, sort of partly.
Yeah.
But at the time that you were doing those programs, it seems like it's fostered a lot of current DJs, like all clubs do, but specifically Wolf seem to have done it more because of those sort of outreach things and stuff. How have you noticed that through working through there, and then what's happening today?
It's really incredible because I see so many different faces that, I got to see touch the decks for the first time, or kind of help through even if they had some knowledge. So it's been really cool. And yeah, it was something really special that we did at that time. Like sometimes don't even feel like it's real. When I sit back and I see photos, I'm like, I see somebody on the line, I'm just like, oh my God, I taught that. I taught that person, and they're like killing it. And it's like, yeah, it's incredible. So I was super lucky that I got the opportunity to do that with Wolf. Like they were all for whatever I really wanted.
Because it was your idea, right?
It was, so I seen like this little boy busking. He was like 9 years of age, and he was like just really cool. And I reached out to his mum and said, can I teach him? And he came up for free at Wolf, and it was really cool. We did that for a while, and then I was like, no, I want to do this for as many people as possible. So, yeah.
So what sort of numbers would have you had through there?
Oh, so me and Lee did it at the same time. So he had a massive group, and I had a massive group too. And then I was doing it through another organisation there as well, and doing like tailored to sort of female and that kind of stuff. So I think I done about 40 something. I think Lee did close to 30 something too. Yeah.
And they're still around. There's a bunch of them still doing it now.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Including you.
Including me.
Kaylee's my biggest career highlight.
The prodigy.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really exceptional.
And you said you were still preparing for the big shows, but one coming up is the Digi Culture Fest.
Yeah.
Do you know a bit about the story of that, or because that's a brand new event?
Yeah.
And what kind of is that about? Do you know?
So it's basically the same group that do like a lot of the stuff at 122 and doing the events like Peggy Goo and whatnot at Fiction, and they're just bringing a more diverse lineup and a bigger lineup to Canberra and making it work. It's incredible. Like I've never seen such left field artists in such a big stage, and they're just making it work. Like it's taken honestly like a lot of balls. Like me doing that, if that was me, I would freak out. But it's just come together so well. They've organised it really well, and yeah, it's going to be really cool music. It's going to be really diverse. And
because Canberra hasn't seen anything like this for a long time, let alone trying to do it during COVID.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really cool to see.
Yeah.
And everyone check it out if you can. Is it this weekend or it's
Sunday. Yeah. What's really cool about it too is that it's not very often as a resident that you get the opportunity to play you.
Yeah.
And we've kind of been given that opportunity,
which is
on Sunday.
Awesome.
So we're really keen. I guess the music more so in this is more tailored to our personal style opposed to what we get paid to play. So this is really cool for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by that? Like more you? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
I guess I really like melodic and progressive techno and house and stuff. So it's not really built for that main room at Fiction. And it's not very often like I personally get to play that kind of stuff. And, Kaylee's quite similar as well.
Yeah, and like personally I always love a variety as well. Like I did a warm-up for Winston Surf Shirt, so I played like 12 to 1, and like normally that slot is like you're warming up the room, you're fucking bringing it, playing some bangers or whatever. But the crowd there, like it was one of my favourite crowds because they just loved just chill stuff, and they were just getting around it, and it was so cool. And it will be cool this weekend as well to sort of share what I like to listen to and like to, groove out to personally. So, yeah, it'll be really, really cool.
I feel like these crowds are just more, in a sense, tolerant to music that they don't know, which is cool. You're not having to play something that they know and keep them going and going with like a vocal they know or, it's going to be pretty cool.
And you mentioned... Yeah, I think it's going to be... I'm going to try and get down there to film a little bit of it, but we'll see if I can get in. But I'm real keen to see how that festival goes because it's the first one back, basically.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, it is too.
Yeah, like it's before Groovin as well, so that will be pretty interesting. I think they brought out like the map and stuff too, and I was like, it's been a while since I looked at one of these.
And it tracks at... the race course too.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a festival there for a while, I don't think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so very keen to see that. You mentioned before, like it had kind of changed through COVID. That now it's hard to judge what music people are listening to. Do you think that's a bigger thing that's going on at the moment with the way people are consuming music? Like it's
Yeah,
such a
100%.
diverse,
Yeah.
like sort of
100%.
scene.
Yeah.
Like people have such fine-tuned tastes
Well,
to,
like
to
not
Spotify
even
and stuff.
fine-tuned. It's
like
just
TikTok.
kids on TikTok. Yeah, literally.
Like TikTok now basically runs what is trending in a mainstream nightclub.
Really?
Yeah. Like after this year was the first year that I downloaded TikTok, so I was like, I can't not have it now.
That's your research.
Yeah.
Or part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually quite
'cause, like,
scary.
Even like I've been on, I don't normally go on TikTok, but I've been just glued to it the past week, just recovering. So I'm just like aimlessly scrolling. And it's crazy how fast you consume so much content just like in 10 minutes. Because it all ranges from like, what, like a couple seconds to like 3 minutes now. And it's just like crazy. And all these like producers as well on there, like getting their stuff out. And then like even Jack Harlow's First Class song, they like tease that, and it's every second video you scroll through, it's his song.
So like, I mean, it's a big change for me essentially, because when I first started DJing, we didn't even have Spotify. So it's like quite weird and bizarre coming back and TikTok's just ruling what I can and can't play in a set. We, you know, when we have all the decks loaded, I generally have a fourth deck of a saver song. So if I play something and it tanks and they hate it, I can just play some TikTok mashup that's trending and be like, come back to me. It's interesting.
Yeah, I had Ashley Farord on a while ago, and he, not in that podcast, but in another conversation I had with him, talked about sort of the business side of DJing and working in a club. And I wonder if that is kind of that difference between a you set and doing what's into the club.
Yeah.
How have you navigated that? And you, Haylee, is starting out earlier.
It's interesting. Look, I've never had to worry pre-COVID about social media. I've always found that pre-COVID, your sets dictated how you got booked going forward. Now coming back, your social media is your resume, and that's the most important part. Realistically, that's what sells you.
Yeah.
And it's quite scary.
Like, I had someone ask me, because like I sort of like last year when things were like really busy and stuff, like after like dancing like came back for the first time and it was like really crazy, I was making like my own little like posters and stuff, and Britt was doing the same. And I had someone ask me, and they were like, oh, does Fiction make those for you? And I was like, are you serious? That'd be so good. But no, like it's crazy how much effort everyone does put in to their own marketing and stuff like that.
It's kind of turned into now almost like 50% of the job of DJing in the background is how you present yourself online. Yeah. And it takes away a lot of your time to be able to concentrate on the things that I like personally. It's interesting.
So what would be sort of, are you both doing this full time? Yeah.
No. Yeah, this is a hobby for me that got a bit out of hand.
Yeah, right.
Same.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So it does feel like a full-time job.
Honestly, I guess back in the day, pre-COVID, it could have been a full-time job. It generated enough money to be a full-time job when I'll open Thursday, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, that's true.
But now we just have the Friday, Saturday, so it's quite, it's a bit of a card.
Yeah.
A bit limited now.
Yeah.
And so what would make up your prep for a set now?
Depends.
Yeah.
Depends who it is, what night it's going to be. Like you
Yeah.
sort of have to like take in all these factors, what your time slot is, if you're opening, if you're playing right before the artist, if you're headlining like on a Saturday or something, or if you're closing, and like what kind of night that's going to be like. Like even this Thursday, Easter Thursday, Britt is playing right before Flava D. I'm closing after her. And it's just like...
We wouldn't normally have a library to support her. So what, I guess essentially for that particular set, even like Marlo for me is Sunday after Digi, because they're artists that we don't usually play a lot of their style of music and don't have that prepped, we have to research what they're playing, research their last couple of sets to see what they are playing, to know what level we're going to take it before or after, so we don't step on toes. We get the room ready for what they're about to play. Like there's a lot of prep in that kind of stuff. Whereas,
Yeah, and it's especially hard when they haven't been playing any festivals too.
yeah.
So you can't even look up like their festival sets or
Their
anything
last
because there's just
one,
nothing,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah, I do quite a bit of that, and kind of go from there. It's funny because you would think that a headline at a club would be the hardest thing to prep for because you're headlining, but I think they're the easiest. They're the biggest walk in the park. It's when you're warming up or closing for somebody else that you need to leave a lot of room from. They're the ones that can take hours.
If you're playing before them, you need to like warm up the room for them, let them like elevate it, and then when you're closing, you're like, all right, I need to take this like times 10 like to
actually,
keep everyone.
When I'm teaching people, it's probably the hardest concept people wrap their head around is that you don't always get up there and play what you think you're going to play, and that you actually have to set the room up for the next person, and your set, if not done correctly, could make or break the sales of that night.
And adapt as you go.
Yeah. I learnt so much of that through Wolf. Like I remember, like I think it was you or Lee. I was like DJing, and then I literally can't remember if it was you or Lee, but whoever it was played like. We were like playing, and then they played a chill song, and you could literally watch everyone just go to the bar.
I remember.
And then it was like, watch this, and they just played like Fisher or something, and they all just come running back, and I was like, what the?
I think when I kind of got taught DJing, and what I say a lot to people as well, is that you're a puppeteer, and that you have to play songs that send people to the bar, to bring them back, to not tire them, and to keep the girls there dancing.
Yeah, but like now as well, if you send them to the bar, they almost walk out the door. I'm like,
it's really scary when you're like, okay, I got to play a chill song, but I can't lose him. And then you can sometimes it's scary because you're like, it's unnatural for you to let people walk away from that dance floor, but you will tire them out. So you do have to be very careful.
You got to pace the audience.
Yeah.
Do some TikTok teasing. I don't know. It's interesting.
Crazy.
Yeah, and so you're not doing it full time? Is it? Would you like to be? Is that the goal?
Oh, if I made enough money to be able to DJ once or twice a week and live comfortably, that would be so amazing.
I started training people because I was ready to retire, and then I had the COVID break, and I was like, I don't want to retire yet. But no, I definitely wouldn't want to do it full time. I'm way too tired now.
So what keeps you coming back?
Oh, that's such a good question. That's a really good question. I think seeing everyone dance and being able to create, that's really cool. And then actually watching other people that you've taught, even better. When I see you playing, you killing it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. So it would probably be staying around to keep myself relevant, to keep teaching people maybe. But I think
keep the skills up.
I think teaching is probably more of what I get the enjoyment out of now, because I do like to sleep some weekends.
Working the late nights all the time.
Yeah.
And how about you, Haylee?
Like I'd love to do it full time and like eventually get into like producing and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Britt's taught me a few things on like mixes and stuff like that. But eventually, like want to, get into my own way, and like I've got a friend that produces but more like R&B sort of stuff, and his dedication is like crazy. He will just every afternoon, like every weekend, he just sits there and he's amazing. And I'm just like, fuck, I do not have that time to like fully dedicate. So it would be cool to like eventually have some time to dedicate to that sort of stuff, and hopefully like
and make your own dance music.
Like just whatever. Like I feel like my plan this whole time has been having no plan and just waiting until
I think
something.
it's our biggest conversation between the two of us. I'm just like, all right, we need to sit and sort this out, and you're like, oh, do we?
Yeah, the best plan is no plan. Like a lot of what we do is like you plan, but a lot of it is just winging it when you get up there, because you could play like you could have your set list ready and stuff, and everyone could just be like, this is shit. And you're like, okay, let's
we're not doing this,
180, let's, work this around. So, but, I'd love to, like, see how far I can go with everything, and, like, it'd be cool to, like, travel different places for it and get booked out of the venues, like, far and wide would be pretty cool. But, yeah, that's still probably a long way away.
The no plan seems to be working for now.
Yeah. Maybe I should plan some things, but you know.
And what about your sort of influences out there? Like, what inspired you to get into music and stuff at the start? And is there anyone that you look at and like, that is sort of the path that I want to take?
Well, when I first started, yeah, absolutely. I've always loved Eric Prydz. I've loved all of his aliases, his production, his hologram. It's just incredible. That the tech side of that kind of stuff is what really drew me, and I love that kind of stuff. Like even Deadmau5 with his cube, I was like, that is sick.
Oh yeah, your
that
helmet.
Yeah, like I
So we can expect something like that at Digi this
oh
weekend.
God, that
like
would be unreal.
the big
Like
stage.
a Rubik's cube. Yeah, I don't know. I've always been really into really nerdy tech DJs that have that big production and stuff. Blows me away.
And getting away from just the decks, like having all that other
Yeah. That the big stuff is
and all those other weird electronic shit.
yeah.
Like I know, like one of the favorites I have seen, they're not so much DJs, but Hermitude, like how they kind of make the beats a bit more organically.
Yeah, for sure.
Like is a really cool
Yeah.
way to do it, but still having that DJ element.
Bicep.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
yeah, Bicep. Oh my God, they do some crazy things. Like I don't know if you've seen any of their Bicep live streams.
I've never heard of.
They did one during like
I'll
the
pull it
first.
up. We can watch a bit of it.
So like I don't think it's online. So they literally you have to pay tickets and they do like a set live stream, but they prepare this live stream like 4 months in advance. Like they practice and like run through and everything like that. And then so you like buy tickets to it and then they stream it and it's just like this crazy production, like visually, and like it's just them like making the music and stuff like on bloody Ableton.
I think in lockdown, me and you sat on Zoom and watched it together, and every time we would hear like a sample come through, we'd both just shoot up.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
and because I had a friend like record it like on their screen, like real dodgy and everything, so we could rewatch it, and it was just like amazing and like just all the visuals, and it's just them two just sitting there, but it's just like, oh my God, just all the emotions and everything. And they've like just got, it's like they have like a drone as well, like flying around them and like all the different visuals. I'm just like, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like,
I'd be very keen to see that.
They just took live streams
seems like it's only
to a whole new level.
Got like boiler room sets here and stuff. But
for sure, it's incredible. Almost like it's euphoric.
And then like they did their second one. And we like all gathered around and then we set up actually like 2 TVs and then one had like a 1 second delay. So it was like, this would change. And it was just so crazy. Them going back and forth. We're all recording it like, oh my God, this is cool. It was crazy. But yeah. I don't know. I feel like, I was going to say growing up. Being in Wolf, like seeing Britt and like Lee and all the DJs there, and it was just like the coolest thing ever. It was like, and like Wolf was the place to be. Like, it doesn't matter if you were 18 or bloody 30 or whatever, like you'd see everyone from all different backgrounds and stuff there. Everyone just on the same state of fun. And just be so cool. And like being in that room was like amazing, like just the music, and you'd hear stuff that you don't know, and then that you'd hear stuff that's like still kind of trending. Like I remember when I heard Red Light, Green Light by fucking Duke Dumont. I heard it in Wolf for the first time. Yeah. After like peaking Dark.
That might be the point where it like went from into the TikTok era after that song.
Oh, I think honestly, like
that might be the
catalyst.
catalyst.
That even like Tokyo Drift, like that.
Yeah.
That Tokyo Drift.
Oh
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I'm still lost by the whole.
But I remember
special,
being in Wolf and hearing songs for the first time that like
it was cool. We had like there was only a handful of residents on a Saturday, and we would get up there and play back to back all night long. Like you'd get booked for a certain slot, but we would ended up just playing the whole night through, and we would try and outdo each other with new shit, and it'd be like cool because you'd play something, you'd look at the boys and be like, you are. And
so back to back, that's like one song each.
Yeah.
With a couple of people rather than like doing a whole set yourself.
Yeah, towards the end, I don't think I played by myself ever. And it was cool.
And you found that a fun way to do it.
Yeah.
Or a better way to do it.
Yeah, I get into this kind of energy where I'm bouncing off the other person and they're bouncing off you.
And then you climb up on the decks at Wolf.
Yes, you climb up on the riser and do all the fun stuff. I don't know, it's like it felt really natural and it felt like you were a part of the party and you created a party and we literally would sell out like that. It was cool. I feel like when I'm by myself, I'm so awkward. So being up there by myself, I'm like, all these people are looking at me. And then like you'll be DJing, I'm like, I wonder if they can see like me bopping my feet. You're like, I look stupid. I don't know. I get really awkward by myself and just like,
I feel like that's me when I'm sober. I'm like, am I dancing weird? I don't know. I'm like, let me just have a few more drinks till I don't care where I'm dancing.
I think because I'm getting like, I am 12 years older than the youngest person in that club now. So I feel so out of place. So it's kind of nice going back to back. I forget that they're there and we're just all partying together, I guess. Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting that you say like you still feel awkward up there. You've been doing it for quite a while.
I get so nervous still.
Public sort of pursuit.
It's
being
actually
a DJ. So it's
every.
How did you fall into that? If that?
Oh man,
no, it doesn't get easier.
I still
jumping on a stage.
Yeah, I still kind of had points where I'm walking on stage and I was like, as a socially anxious person, why the fuck did I choose to do this and why did I say yes?
Yeah.
And I've had shows where I've gone up there and I've nearly thrown up before getting up there of nerves. Like it's, for me, I don't think it ever goes away. But I had to really push myself to pursue this because it's so out of character for me. Yeah.
And it was just because of the love of the music that pushed you through to try it.
Yeah. I like it.
And it's also the people. Even though the people make you nervous, it's still the people at the end of the day, and like they're there for you and the music, and then like you create this whole like atmosphere, and then everyone's just like the sickest gun ever.
Well, I kind of like I moved. I'm not from Canberra, so I didn't know anyone until I started DJing. Like I actually didn't know anyone.
Right.
So yeah, it's really cool. You meet a group of people that all share a same common interest. You can have different tastes in music, but it's a different type of connection, hey?
Yeah, like I went to school in Queanbeyan, so when I like turned 18 and stuff, it was more just like having like those friends, and then like we all like, you know, Uber into the city, and like just exploring that for the first time was crazy. I remember like hearing everyone's like because my friends that were like 18 before me, they were like, yeah, like Mooseheads is like this crazy club, and it's got these podiums and there's like poles you dance on. It's crazy. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I remember like hearing about Wolf and how that was like all laid out, and like I was going to those clubs and I was like, it's actually not as crazy as like they told me, but like it's more like your nights there and the memories you make, like not like what the venue looks like or anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, venues come and go, but there's still always people looking to go out and have fun every night.
Yeah,
no
100%.
Matter, except for COVID, but no matter what, like there's always going to be people out there.
Yeah.
And keen to hear new music.
For sure.
Well, maybe not now you're saying it, but hear music they hear on TikTok.
I think it's
they just want new remixes.
I think honestly, I feel that once we open up and establish for a while, we will have the trust in the people to be able to play a more diverse set. It's just at the moment why they're building the trust within the venue. Because there's been times at Wolf when we've changed management and changed directions and stuff where we've had to go back to core roots and play stuff that we know is safe until we gain that rapport and have that audience come through every weekend. It's quite interesting.
And then like as much as like I forget it even as well, Canberra's like a big uni town as well.
Yeah.
And then like we just had like two of our biggest unis just like get rid of all their students, like international students as well. And then like they're only just slowly coming back. I don't even think uni's at full.
I know, O Week used to be a lot of planning at Wolf. I don't think I've done an O Week at Fiction, but that was a lot of planning would go into that because we would have to set a really good prime example. We would all get together as DJs and be like, this is what we're doing, this is what we're selling, this is who we're booking this weekend, this is what we need from you. And we would all get together and input on that because it was so important. to be able to
O weeks
captivate
were like
them.
the biggest weeks because you've come off like Christmas and New Year's, and it's sort of like, yeah, like summer, some people go away, whatever. But when all the uni students come back and everyone's back home, it's like crazy town. But it's not.
And it's all the new people to town that end up going out in that O week, not really your staples that come through every weekend. So you can't even read the crowd and be like, oh yeah, they come through last weekend. I know they're like this and like that. They're like all brand new. So it's like,
Oh, as in that detail of you're noticing who's in, and the regulars and judging by that what you play next.
100%. Yeah, I mean, especially at Wolf because it was a smaller room. You knew your group, so there was a element of we would market ourselves as being quite personalised at Wolf. So we would get to know our people, and it was expected that we did. So you would know what they like. You would see a group come in, and 100% would tailor it to them, and then to the other group, and it gave them a sense of ownership too of the venue, the people that would come through because they were like, we know the DJs, or we will drink with them, or all that kind of stuff. It was really smart.
Yeah. So you think that was unique to to Wolf at that time? That was just a deliberate thing. Yeah.
They even did like the like school yearbook, and there would be like Mr. and Mrs. Wolf. I remember one year they gave away crowns to the two like people that would be. I know it was
the most booze heads. Like.
Yeah. And I was just like, it was interesting. It was like this massive culture. It's like you got queen.
Wolf was like so much more intimate and like so much more sense of like community than like.
I've never seen so many tattoos running around with the club logo in my life.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Really?
so true.
Yeah, it was.
Imagine people with like fiction tattoos.
I mean, I reckon there would be a couple out there.
You reckon?
Yeah, for sure.
There's definitely some moose heads.
It's unreal. Maybe like pre-2000.
People get married in moose heads. Like people get engaged there.
Do it for the thrill of it, I guess.
I guess so. Just when your favourite song comes on.
I think actually
Song
it's been
takes
the
over.
longest standing club in Canberra, Mooseheads.
Yeah, when
It probably would be. Yeah.
I reckon it would be.
I'm going to die before that place shuts down.
I reckon so too.
It's like the cockroach of
Yeah.
Canberra.
Yeah. That's unreal. I mean, you got to take your hat off to them. That must be hard. Really,
Yeah.
if you think about it. Like, how many clubs I've seen come and go in Canberra, and it just never,
Well, you know, songs just don't really hit like High School Musical remixes do.
Absolutely.
So we're not going to get a moose head set anytime soon from you guys.
I mean, I was 18.
I reckon.
I've been to it.
I reckon.
But I was going when they played like Core and like Flume.
I mean,
Maybe it was a Friday, but I remember like
Oh,
I
yeah,
was looking back
interesting.
on videos and I was like, is that Core? I was
Yeah.
like listening and I was like, what the heck?
honestly though, the DJs at Mooseheads, especially downstairs, that must be the hardest job. I couldn't mix that. I physically
And it'd
couldn't
be
mix it and
the
make it sound
rowdiest
decent.
crowd ever.
Yeah, there must be a lot of hard work that goes into that because I couldn't mix it.
And like they do long sets, wouldn't they?
And it's not the music's not built to mix. Like that.
No,
Really?
they're all completely
Yeah.
separate pop songs and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
like there's like no intros, there's vocals everywhere. Like
That's true.
there's a craft in that. Like I've done my hat off to them. I physically do not have the talent to be able to do downstairs moves.
Yeah.
I should get that on a t-shirt.
I couldn't.
don't have the talent to do that.
Yeah, I just don't think I could handle that crowd.
Yeah.
Like I've been that crowd. I've been in there. But like I don't want to go back, man.
I don't think I could handle that wolf crowd when we had the
Oh yeah, true.
the decks opened up and the whole
Yeah.
people coming behind you. So like
When there was that outdoor area sort of thing. Yeah.
And they like knocked down the glass bit, so it was like you in this little box and just everyone piled around you. And I remember playing and people would touch you and pull you and you're just like, oh,
I remember when like
please leave me alone.
and then like no one would know if it's like, is that what we're doing tonight or are we not doing it?
Yeah, because sometimes
and
I would
you'd
close it
have
off.
to-
Yeah. And the first person would just test the waters. To see
and they get ripped off.
As much as I loved it, I don't think I could after doing that big break in
It's
COVID.
big boiler room vibes for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how they do those sets where there's literally people just like
I know.
leaning over and
Oh,
And they're
my
so
God, that
patient.
one-
They're so
Kay-
patient.
Kaylee's first set. I remember this guy like literally went and scratched the
That wasn't a first set because we were playing together.
Yeah.
Wait.
But wasn't it the first time that we did a back-to-back?
Oh.
And I think he touched the jog wheel while she like brought up another song, threw the song out, and she was just like, I went, I lost it. I was so angry. I was just like, why would you?
It was good though.
But yeah, it is.
It was fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun.
Well, on those moments, what are those sort of memories that stand out through the time of like the big sets or the big the supports or those sort of things?
Wolf memories. Don't remember much. Just like a good feeling.
I mean, good sets. But there was this one time I met this guy on like the internet, and he just moved to Canberra, and he's like, I play the saxophone, and I was like, cool, bring it to the club.
He's like, yeah,
think he would, and he did, and I was like, oh fuck, okay. And it was cool. He just plugged it in and he started playing his saxophone on the DJ riser over my set. He was like, I was playing like Lola's theme and he was just like banging it out. And I was like, this is cool. I was so scared. I was like, I'm in so much fucking trouble. I was like, just come and do it. And he did. And I was like, oh no. But it worked out so well.
It's like Timmy Trumpet vibes.
Yeah.
But if someone like had thought of that idea, found someone to do it, organise it, it wouldn't have been as magical.
No way. I think I was more shocked than everybody else. Yeah, it went off. It was really cool. That was a special one. And
wow.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
I think he moved.
He just left.
Yeah, he just came through town randomly. I think
one
Where
night.
is Saxo guy now?
I think he was in the army, so he like relocated here, and now he's like. But he used to do this kind of work, like playing the saxophone over the top of DJs in another place, and he just mentioned it. And I was like, yeah, cool, just come.
Maybe we should play the saxophone next.
I can't do that. I could try.
Yeah.
It'd take a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think any back-to-back with Lee was pretty magical.
Oh, the master.
Yeah. He would always take it in such different directions, and I'd be like, fuck, I did not prep for this.
Yeah.
He'd be really cool. He pushed me out of my comfort zone, actually. Like, when I first started playing, I just played house, and I would hate to push the BPM and change the genre. Like, I'll do heaps of different subs of house.
But Lee's like 2 different BPMs, makes
so
it work.
He would like just change it up, and I was like, I can't. And he'd be like, nah, you can't. And he would make me. He literally would make me mix all these different BPMs, and it was cool because I got more comfortable with it. But God, he's really pushed me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, watching Lee mix is like, it's like art.
Yeah, he can get to like this real big state of flow.
Yeah.
Where
because he knows the song so well as well.
Yeah, I think because he just, I don't know, it's like, it honestly feels like he's not even trying, but you hear it and you're just like, fuck, I did not hear you do that. How, like, it's just, yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah. Dick swinging.
Yeah.
Hard.
He's interesting.
Yeah. I remember like just the Saturdays at Wolf were just like magical. Magical. Because like you all ended up at the same place, but like the journey was so different to get there.
Oh, another actually pretty memorable moment was closing for Claptone on the first birthday of Fiction. That was cool.
Did Clapton, didn't he open the club?
Yeah.
Or did he do first birthday?
Nah, it was the first, sorry, not the first birthday. Yeah,
That's
the
what I was
open
thinking. I was
night.
like,
Yeah, the open night.
Oh, the first night.
Yeah.
You played the first night.
Yeah, I
at Fiction.
closed after Claptone.
Wow.
That's wild.
Yeah, I was so scared. I was like, who keeps trusting me with this shit? I'll never get. And then I know a couple of years before, Frank messaged me and he's like, yeah, do you want to come and play Chinese Laundry in Sydney? And I was like, yes, for sure. I love that venue. I get there and I was like, who the fuck trusts me with this? And why do I keep agreeing to it? Like, I'm not.
Yeah, I think that's something on my...
You're the goat in Canberra.
We have had this conversation before when you have imposter syndrome and it's really hard to get rid of. I don't know if everyone's like this, but sometimes you kind of just feel like you don't belong up there and you're just like, I'm not a...
Like, who am I?
I'm not experienced enough to be doing this. And then you kind of look back and you're like, oh, no, like, I'm good. I remember I said to Kay, I was like, you'll have a moment of realization one day where you'll be sitting drunk in a cubicle at the bathroom and you'll be like, oh, yeah, like... I'm playing tonight and actually, like, I'm good. And then, like, you'll have a night and you're just like, I just can't.
Like, I feel like you definitely have, like, good sets. Like, I think, like, maybe, like, early last year was, like, it was because it was, like, purely so busy and we had, like, What's So Not and, like Anna Leno and stuff. Like even like everyone turned up for Anna Leno, which I was like fucking oath because
cool.
she's just such a wolf memory for me. Like 303
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's interesting when you say wolf memories for you because
I know
we kind of have a separate era of wolf.
Yeah.
So it's actually quite interesting because, I mean, wolf memories for me, and when I first started going there, they're like my core memories, and like I can't let go of like this track here is such a wolf track for me. And it's interesting when you say like the 303 stuff because I think I'm like, oh yeah, like that was a really big era.
Yeah.
That first impact's so important, hey, because it's what sticks no matter how long you go through or play that venue.
Yeah, I know. I wish I was born like 10 years earlier. Just because like I feel like being like, I'm not saying I'm not like 18 or anything now, but like being so young, going out and like obviously pre-COVID when everything was like popping off and everything was so different, it was just like I just wish I got to experience more.
Yeah, and your
like,
music taste has progressed
a
lot more so to what I grew up on. I don't know whether that's a little bit like, did I push it?
And like, I don't know what my music taste is.
Like I'll show you really old school Dirty Bird, tech
and
house
I'm
tracks,
like
Pride of Fisher and all that kind of mass produced shit that clogged that market. And you're like, yeah, this is really cool. And I was like, yeah, we used to play this on a Saturday headline. You're like, oh man, like it's interesting.
Like I wish I got to experience that.
Yeah, she's got really. I think that probably helped as well with the whole mentoring and stuff. Like she's got really cool taste in music. And like, I mean, when you first started playing, you're like, I like this and I like that. But the minute that I'd show you something a little bit different, you're like, no, I really fucking like that. And I was like, yeah, this is
like chucking my USB over my
cool.
shoulder. I'm like,
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I think because I didn't really grow up with a heavy electronic dance music like sort of background, really. Like, I don't know, just like I didn't really like Brody, my older sibling. He never really. I think he showed me Skrillex, and like I loved Skrillex, and I was like in year 8 or something, and I was like, yes, like this is cool. I think like just little moments like that, but never really like I feel like I knew people that were like going to festivals like in high school and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I was just studying. I was playing netball and studying.
I was like, I went to this festival in 2009. She was like, I was 8.
I know. It makes me so sad, like looking back. Like looking back, and I'm just like, man, I want to experience like all these festivals, like
the golden era.
Yeah, like I just really just miss that shit. Like.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, music always comes around in trends and waves, which is cool.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
Yeah, and I feel like music now, it's just like, like the whole TikTok thing. Like, if it's not trending on TikTok, no one knows it.
And I wonder if that's like finish your thought.
I actually literally was just thinking there is a complete flip to that though. So when we say TikTok is trending music, that's just more so in that mainstream club. Yeah. There's actually a really cool scene in Canberra that is complete polar opposite to that.
That's so true.
Yeah, and that's always been there, don't get me wrong, but it's never been as big as what I can see it at the moment since I've been DJing the last 6 years. So it's built up. I know prior to me DJing, it was really massive and then it fell off. But it's cool to see that come back through, and there's a lot of people in Canberra pushing to make that happen.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely out there. But what I was going to say was that maybe it's a victim of Canberra being kind of smaller. We don't have the clubs that can sustain that sort of niche sound, whereas you go to Sydney and you might have that smaller venue, but they can fill it with those regulars that like that specific stuff.
Absolutely.
I wonder what you think the state of the scene, the club scene in Canberra is, and what it kind of needs.
Got an answer straight away for this one. When Fiction shut down for renovations, they had it closed off and just this little tiny rave cave with a massive hallway where the bar was. And I got to play the coolest, darkest stuff that wasn't underground but wasn't commercial. We actually don't have that in between. Exactly.
Smaller size.
Yeah. So it's like it's not quite underground enough to play at a door for anything like that, but it's not commercial enough to hit that main stage.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Wolf was back in the day.
Yeah.
When I first started playing there and before Academy shut, that's what Wolf was. But it has to be a fine balance between, I guess, what Wolf was prior to Academy shutting to what it was after. It needs to have a fine balance of both to be able to sustain. But yeah, that for me is probably what's missing.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say like I know any sort of club scene well enough, like, or even like not even club scene, just music scene, like Sydney, Melbourne and stuff. And I think that's something I definitely want to explore a bit more personally and sort of figure out their nightlife and figure out what works down there and like what can we bring that works elsewhere to here.
Have you ever been out in Sydney?
I've been out once and like twice, I think.
Oh my God,
I
that's
still have so much exploring to do.
I forget how young you are. I actually forget how young you are sometimes.
Well, like I turned 21 and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
So like, what can you do?
Oh my God. Yeah.
You kind of miss Sydney's prime as well.
Yeah.
A little bit there.
Chinese laundry was like.
Yeah, that was a bucket list. But yeah.
Oh man, it was probably my favorite.
Just got caught up in Wolf every weekend.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I kind of liked Wolf because it had elements of that smaller, dirtier room almost.
Yeah.
More intimate, a bit darker. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've only been to one club in Melbourne, but it was like insane.
Yeah, Melbourne's amazing.
And I don't even think it was like we were just following one of our mates, like friend of a friend, and we were just following her so blind. She was like, okay, maybe this place. I'm like, all right. And we're all just like absolute rat bags at this point. And it was so cool. I always forget the name, but I'm sure I could find it somewhere. I always do. And but like you walk in and you pay entry and they give you Monopoly money.
Oh.
Like $1 Monopoly money and like a wristband. And then you walk in and it's like this neon red bar and then like it's like all leafy and stuff like on the roof and stuff. And it feels like a festival stage. Like I felt like it was like a spilt milk like off to the side, like, and I was like, what the fuck? And then you go into another room and you give them the Monopoly money and they give you a mask to put on. And I had one that was like melting ice creams. There's like all these pool toys in there and I'm like, what is this place?
Yeah,
like I never want to leave. And then there was like another room where it was like a kitchen and like wallpaper and stuff and it was just like heavy techno and I was like,
I think that's when I say I like really nerdy tech DJs, it's all that kind of quirkiness to me.
Yeah.
That has always pulled me in. Like, I don't even think I care about the style of music, but if you've got something, that point of difference, like I'm in. Even Rez, that she does like that mid-tempo stuff and she has the swirly glasses. Like, I don't love mid-tempo, but I'll sit there and I'll watch her live stream just because I'm mesmerized by like her level of detail. And that like that Monopoly money and that kind of stuff, that I'm instantly pulled into that. I'm like, yeah, this
like
is
such
cool.
a gimmick, but like
the bigger sort of show around the DJing and the venue.
Yeah, it's just like the whole experience, like just a bit of fun and like
yeah.
I'm like, better get some pool toys, bring back to Wolf. Like,
we used to.
Yeah, I remember that photo. Little flamingo vibe. But yeah, I think that's something like I do really miss, like just playing to like a small, sweaty room.
Yeah.
And like, you just don't know what's going to happen next and
you
don't know where you are anymore. No, but yeah, just being able to like play stuff to people that are just there just to experience music, not just to like have this. Because I feel like even like comparing it to fiction feels like a much bigger production.
Yeah, the cool thing about that and its size is that it can pull so many names that no other club in Canberra would be able to and have been able to pull.
It's like, such a good venue to get internationals and everything in, which is amazing.
And that was like Wolf's downfall. It's like the capacity didn't ever enable us to be able to do anything like that. So we're pretty lucky to have it.
Yeah, and like you can only squeeze so many people in Wolf.
Oh yes, yeah.
Like Mr. Wolf after a spilt milk, or like
Oh, it was disgusting.
oh my
It
god,
was disgusting.
I remember like the last spilt milk, the line to Wolf went around the corner and like went round to like reload.
I don't think I came out of the back room that whole night. I
You wouldn't
couldn't.
have.
No,
You wouldn't
I
have.
couldn't have.
You were running around like a headless chook. I don't know what you were doing, but you were busy doing something.
I think everyone came back, didn't they? All the artists.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
from school, so-
Dom Dollar,
Yeah, I don't know, like
Golden
Vera Blue,
Features,
Yeah.
Chilma Boys were there.
I think everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember keep having to walk people back into the venue. Like, oh, this person's here. Who?
Yeah,
This person,
people were like messaging you like
can
crazy,
you
and you're like,
go-
I need to try and get this person in. I was like,
Lee with like Vera Blue, like it's all like Golden Features, or like, oh my god. Yeah, it was.
I
cool.
remember Lee just turning to me being like, all right, I need like 6 beers and a bottle of vodka. And I was like, me? You want me to get it? Okay. Because I was like still pretty new. Like I was DJing there for a while, but I was like, all right.
That's like imposter syndrome. You're like,
I only
"You're
listen
gonna
to
go."
Lee and I don't know, like, Lee's the top of the hierarchy, really. So I was like, I'll do anything this man says. And then so I like go to the bar, and like the bar people like have probably seen me, but like didn't really like know me or who I was or anything. And I was like, oh yeah, Lee just wants 6 beers and a bottle of vodka. And they were like, Lee said that. And I'm like, I'm not trying to like swindle you guys out of it.
But the amount of times that would happen, people
That's crazy.
like people would be like, Britt, do you want to like let this person here? Your boyfriend's here, and I was like, at the time, I don't have a boyfriend. Like on the door, they'll be like, your cousin's here, and I'll be like, I don't know, who?
What?
And people would
That
be
old
like,
trick.
yeah. Britt said that she wants this drink, and they would, it got to a point where it's like, it would happen all the time.
Well, yeah, well, like a bowl of vodka and 6 beers, I can't even carry that.
Some guy from Bateman's Bay closed one night, Wolf, because he just said that he got told to jump on. Yeah, I'll never forget it.
Fuck
Yeah, I'll never forget it. I mean, we were like, who is that bloke?
Oi, I hate that joke, eh?
I was like, yeah, it would have like, people.
Was he good?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but
it
you
doesn't
know
matter
what?
then.
You know what? I remember finding like out who he was, and then like looking up his Facebook DJ page. And I remember like in his highlight in his bio, he said like he'd like closed the book. I remember being like, yeah, he
Well,
did.
he's not lying.
It's true.
Oh, the memories. The spontaneous.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, people would like literally try.
And Lee's like, wait, that's not your mate.
Yeah. That's not one of the rising stars guys. Like,
Oh.
no.
Shit.
So what happened to the DJ? Did he boot him off, or like he just
Yeah. I guess
If he's out there, call into the show and we'll get him on.
Yeah.
We'll get him on.
reunited.
I'd love to have a chat. Find out your ways of persuasion. Like,
Yeah.
you got a real talent there, mate.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for popping in. Very keen to see the next few months' shows, and good luck with the big crowds and getting back out there. But people can catch you tomorrow night
Yeah.
at
That's
Fiction.
tomorrow.
Yeah. And something's playing in the background.
Going
All
for a
right.
while.
Well, we better wrap it up because
Yeah.
there's something going on next door. But yeah, thank you so much, guys.
That's
and,
all right.
Enjoy the rest of the week.
Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
us.